What's going on, family? Welcome to a special episode of the Seez Show. I am your host, and today we're here to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about Mufasa. My Mufasa review is here. We're going to speak on that, but also I want to speak on something I just seen today, and that's going to be the Superman trailer right here, only on the Seez Show. So I woke up this morning, and technically it's yesterday morning, or however you want to look at this. As I'm going through my normal, watching YouTube and what's going on for the day, so on and so forth, checking the calendar, I scroll a little bit and it stated that 8 minutes ago a trailer was released. So let me rewind back. Yesterday, or the day before, they released a teaser trailer to the trailer, which I thought was the worst thing I've seen, but I thought it was kind of like a comedic sense of what they were doing it for. So I didn't pay it any mind. It's James Gunn. I trust him. After watching this trailer, I honestly don't know how to feel about this situation. I feel like if this trailer was released 24 years ago, maybe it would have been a good trailer. It doesn't look very well right now. It doesn't look good at all. Anyone that says differently, I just feel like they're fanboying it at this point. They don't really care about these things. And again, you got crypto in there. I'm not even going to get into all the characters that's involved in this trailer. I think it's too much. Secondly, I just feel like I don't know, if the color is off, it just feels like it's you guys ever watched Smallville? It feels like a trailer for the episode of Smallville. This didn't feel very theatrical. And that's what I'm worried about here. This doesn't look like a theatrical film. Hopefully, this is just something that was presented to us before the coloration of the film, the editing and stuff got involved. Of course, the film has been edited in totality. But, there's little coloration situations that they have to oversee and redo and so on and so forth. So I'm hoping that's the case with this film. Because other than that, it's going to be very difficult to take this film seriously. And this is the last thing that DC needs, especially right now. This is what I was worried about. Zack Snyder didn't do a good job with the DCU. And if this is going to be the start of the new DCU, I will recommend just starting over now before you have another decade before you can start another DC universe. Another key point in this situation, this is probably why Marvel worked out so well. Marvel didn't have let me stop saying Marvel. I can't say Disney either, because technically the MCU started off with Paramount and they had Iron Man at that point, and then Universal got involved with the Hulk. So you had the Hulk, which I feel like a Hulk is going to be an A-list comic book character, but Iron Man is B. Easy a B-list character. And they made him to the point where it was undeniably, this is a great comic book film. This is going to be how we move forward with comic book films, right? And then later on, we started to get, I keep saying we like I'm Disney, but later on, we started to receive all these other top billing characters within the MCU. And honestly, the top billing characters don't really necessarily work in these MCU films. We're just happy to see them as a result of how much hard work has been going on through these movies through the past, 10, 15 years or so. So that's that. With DC, I just feel like they need to start going into other DC characters. Like Batman and Superman are the big dogs. Why start there? It's very difficult. So that's my recommendation, going into other DC characters. They have a million of them. Try that. Move on. You know what I'm saying? Start with Martian and Manhunter. Yes, he's a part of the Justice League, but do people really know who he is, really? That they're important characters out there that they can start with that lead to the Batmans and Supermans, because you're going to start getting the fatigue. You're going to get tired of seeing a Batman movie every 2-3 years, and on top of that, Batman in the DCU, and it just gets a little weird. So they need to go ahead. Robert Pattinson, Matt Reeves, Batman need to go ahead and finish their work as far as their trilogy. And I think James Gunn is going to have to start over from scratch after this film gets released because it looks that bad. Unless they go do some reshoots, or unless this is like a trailer that led you on the wrong path on purpose, I really feel like this is going to end very badly for the DC universe. So that's that. Let's get into Mufasa. So going into Mufasa, I honestly didn't know what to expect with this film. I didn't really see a lot of advertisement for it. I just felt like Disney feels that this is a Lion King story, so people are going to draw to it. And I don't think that's going to be the case. I feel like Mufasa is going to have an uphill battle at the box office, but that's neither here nor there. Before I get into that, I want to get into the film. All in all, going into this film, didn't know what to expect. I just didn't feel like it was very theatrical as far as I didn't see a lot of advertisement for it. I didn't see it plastered everywhere. And even when I seen the trailer for the film, it didn't feel very like big, like Disney, humongous, like this film is coming. And honestly, I couldn't be more wrong. This film did a phenomenal job. I felt like in totality, this was a solid film. Is it the best family film to watch this holiday season? I don't know. I'm taking my family to see Sonic later on today, so hopefully I'll be able to let you guys know and compare the two films. But I just honestly felt like Sonic is going to take the win this weekend. I felt like that for a while. I just remember when people were talking about these films coming out the same day for the holiday, and in my mind, I'm just like, Sonic has the upper hand, and which is it's crazy to think that way because Paramount versus a Disney film, but Sonic has held rank as far as like kids films for the last couple of years. I feel like Sonic was the reason why Super Mario Bros. Film got made. Like it's working for them. And now, is it going to be a humongous blockbuster? I don't know. I really don't know how this film is going to go. Again, this is the first Sonic film that's released during this holiday. So we're going to see. And also, I feel the same with Lion King. It's not even a winter film, but I get where they're going with this because there was some times in the mountains and it was snow there. So I get where the film can take you. But we'll see as far as the box office after this weekend. But all in all, this movie was solid. The songs were nice. I didn't expect those songs. I honestly, again, like I said, I didn't see a lot of advertisement for it. So I didn't know what to expect, but the songs were good. I felt like the story was good. And it's more in depth than I thought it would be as far as the story because I felt like they gave you everything in the trailer. They kind of gave you a glimpse of what it's going to be about, but also it didn't dive into everything that happened. So that was good. So it left you wondering what was going to happen moving forward from that storyline. So, and again, just from the trailers, you could have guessed one or two things were going to happen, and you still could have been wrong in that situation. So I like that about the film. At times, it felt a little, I want to say corny as far as like not corny as this is for the family. I felt like it was a lack of writing in the film at some points. But again, all in all, I felt like it was a solid film. I'm going to give it a 6.8 out of 10. Definitely go take your family to go see it. It was good. The songs were beautiful. The storyline was good. Now, the reason why I couldn't give it a solid 7, it was just looking at everything. It was so realistic at points, but then again, you would see like a waterfall, and that's what it'll take you out of that element of this is a quote unquote live action film. When all in all, they're not trying to make it a live action film. They're just showing you how far they've come with animation. But when you see the waterfall and it just looks so digitized, it was just like, it took me out for a second. And I had to just reel myself back in as far as like what this is and understand what it is and accept it for what it is at the end of the day. Some of the animals in there were kind of iffy. You could tell that they didn't spend a lot of time on each animal, which was cool. They spent their time on the lions because they were the main focus of the film. So you kind of get that in the film. Like you understand that they're not going to put the hairs on the warhog or the giraffes and do a distinction of how the zebras are going to look in this film. It was more focused on the main characters. You kind of leave those animals in the background. That way you don't have to focus too much on them so no one notices. But Disney, I noticed, unfortunately. So there you go. I mean, go see the film. It's a solid film. I thought the music was great. They did a phenomenal job from what I've seen. Again, I didn't know what to expect. Problem is, this film cost $200 million to make. That's where I think is going to be a problem. But after looking at like how many theaters this is going to be released in and how the not online, but overseas release is going to be, I feel like they're going to be able to make a lot of their money. I feel like most of the money is going to come from overseas, especially for this weekend. So we'll see, man. If you guys are going to go check Mufasa out this weekend, let me know down in the comments what you think about it. You should definitely go check it out. I'm about to go check out Sonic in a little bit. So I'll see you guys next week for the Seez Monroe show. Actually, next week is the holiday, depending on how busy I am. I'm going to definitely try to get in here and record, but we're going to see. I got you guys. We're going to make this happen. All right. I appreciate y'all for tuning in again and see you next week. Peace.